Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Mesified server, and this episode is the first episode that I'm recording at my new place. Gotta say, I am stoked right now, but you may hear a little bit of reverb in my voice. That's because the room is rather echoey, and that's something that I've got to address in the future. So as of right now, I might sound a little bit different, but have no worries because it's not really too big of a difference to ruin or spoil the video in any way. And I am sitting at my new desk, and I gotta say, I love this place already. I'm having a wonderful time here, and last night we did a live stream, and I stood up for the duration of the live stream because my desk is an adjustable one, and I really enjoyed it. It's good for your health to stand up instead of sit down all the time, and having this adjustable desk makes a big difference to that. I can now stream standing up, and it was a lot of fun. But during that live stream, we did some things here in the Nether Hub. You may notice that there is a certain tree that's gone missing in the middle of the hub. That was our advertising tree. And I watched Tango's video. He finished doing the Nether Hub ceiling, and he talked about putting a centerpiece somewhere around here. So I figured our tree was kind of in the way, and it would be a good idea to perhaps move it. I've just noticed that this isn't in the very center of the room. The center of the room would be somewhere around here, right? Just a little thing that I've noticed. That's probably going to wind people up now. Sorry for pointing that out. But yes, I decided, hey, you know, we put our tree there. It's been there for a while. Let's remove that. And I also decided to clean up a few other things in the Nether Hub as well. There were some broken blocks here and there, bits of wall that were missing. Went around and tidied all of that up. And then there were also some chests lying around from where people had been building. So what we did is make a little storage room over here. And I also discovered that the Nether Hub has beacons. Now, you're going to say, Xisuma, you're silly. Top right of your screen, there is a speed icon. You got speed 2. It's just one of those things that you don't really think about. You're always in here running around, and then when I saw the beacon beam, I was like, oh yeah, we always move around in here very fast. It's because we got speed 2. But anyway, this is what we made in the live stream. A little staircase going up and around. You got a view of the Nether, the wonderful and scary Nether. And then up here, we've got some friends spawning in the room. Quite a few of them, actually. There were not too many here a minute ago. In fact, there were none. But now there's 4 of them. Anyway, this little room is a storage room for all of the items that get used when building stuff in the Nether. So I've moved all of Tango's items up here. Some of mine have been moved up here as well. And the only thing I don't like about this room is the roof. I feel like it wasn't a terribly great idea. It looks reasonable, but we're actually going to put something in there more suited. So that'll be one of the first things we do in this episode. However, we're not going to be in the Nether too much this episode, as we're going to be working on our base, working on a brewery system. And there are just a couple of jobs that I've got to do before that. So the first one will be the roof of this storage room. Okay, this is far more fitting. Andesite, then stone brick stairs, and then a little pattern in the middle to match the flooring in that corner. We got some grey glass, which you can just about notice, but it doesn't really break up what's going on here. So that is one of our jobs done. Our second job is not making this look pretty. That is something that I've actually forgotten about. It is just tidying up the mess that we have left behind. There are some floating blocks, a ladder going up from the witch farm, and you might think it's a good idea to keep that, but really, we're only ever going to use the nether portal from now on, so this needs a good old tidy up. I found an AFK Mumbo. Do you know what that means? You got to do the traditional thing, the thing that's no longer really that funny or amusing at all, and box them in. Maybe leave a sign as well. We've actually done Mumbo a service here, because if a zombie were to come and attack him when he's AFK, it may end up bad. What is with that clicking? It's so loud in here. Nothing but clicking noises. Yes. Anyway, let's get out of this place. Job number 3, it is time to put the brown wall on the roof, or more so brown carpets. Must have been maybe more than 20 episodes ago that we started looking at that, and you know what I'm like playing this game. Always getting distracted by new projects. We've got a lot of wall right there, we've got some new wall here from the sheep farm, just took a little trip over there, and we've got to do another run of shearing across here, and then we'll be ready to give it a shot. Not sure if I've got enough to cover the entire roof, but we will give it our best go. So we have just this area here to do, which I think will probably take about 3 to 4 more stacks of wool, which isn't very much. So I'll get that finished off by the end of the episode. But anyway, we've done our jobs for the beginning part of this one. And now we're going to go down below into the base and start work on a brewery system. So I'll tell you straight from the get-go that we are not building any form of massive redstone contraption, automated system. No, we're going to build something that may be semi-automated to some extent, but what I'd like to do is something visual and aesthetic which is going to fit into this room. And the idea of this room is that it's going to be a big open floor. It can stretch, back in that direction a fair way and this direction as well. And we're going to add all sorts of things in here, but the next thing is of course the brewery. And I kind of want it to go in this space over here. I don't think we can dig too much further back in that direction. And so this will sort of be its cutoff point. Now what I want to do is have a selection panel. I don't want to do some big automated fancy system this time. I've done those things in the past. I want to do something a little bit easier. So what we'll have is, I believe there are 11 ingredients in total, and you'll be able to select them right here. So we'll have some blocks below with buttons on. The reason why is because we're going to put an item frame on the dropper itself. And then above these we will have hoppers to fill them back up again. So we'll have a selection panel. You can walk up to it and you'll have to choose your ingredients in the order that you want them to go into the brewing stand. So there may need to be some sort of like indicator system to tell you it's okay to select the next ingredient, because as of right now I'm not sure how we're actually going to get those ingredients out. I've actually placed all of these facing upwards. And that was like my original idea. What we should actually do is have them facing towards us like that. There you go, and that one as well. Nope, I didn't hold down shift as I fell. And then behind here, this is where we could have like a water stream to lead all the drops to a certain place. And then it'll take it around to the next area. But we'll just focus on one thing at a time. And the beginning thing is the dispensing system. Looking good so far, wouldn't you say? Now, sandstone and acacia are not the most intuitive of blocks to combine together, but they kind of look alright, so I thought I would go with that. We've taken the acacia here from the side, and we got some sandstone in the middle of the room. So I put in some glass to kind of bring what we got going on over there, and that will probably continue around the side here, as our potion brewing system will wrap around the side of this room. And it's an open floor plan, so where it comes around here, we can then later on push that wall back in that direction if we choose to do so. Another thing to consider is that we'll actually be looking at this from a little bit higher up. Sandstone probably won't be the floor in here, but we will be seeing it from this height. And these things won't be in the way as well. Got my keepers, so we're not going to lose those. And that means we need some lighting sources around here, that's for sure. Anyway, we've got all of our ingredients here with the exception of two. I believe it is the fermented spider eye and also the rabbit's foot that you can use to make potions. Otherwise all the ingredients are there. Then you press a button down below to select one, and then we got our storage up the top here. So I was thinking that the hoppers don't look particularly good, so what we could do is perhaps have some stairs go across like this. But at the moment I'm not sure what material to use, and then as I place them, maybe sandstone stairs, since they'll keep the sandstone theme going. And then those chests come over a little bit further forward just for easy access, They're a little bit closest to us, and then we can... Oh, wait, what was that? Oh, hi. Get out of my way. I heard a click. And now you're lagging. Let's open that one again. I thought because it was a trap chest, or maybe it was the other one. Oh no! It activates the dropper. Gotta love a good solution. What I've done is I've moved the chests back. And we will never actually open those chests, because they can still do the same damage if we were to open a trapped one. Let's put one there as well. What we'll do is simply right click on these hoppers here, and then whatever items we put into them will flow into the chest behind it. Now that's only good really for topping up 5 stacks at a time, right? So maybe we'll build some sort of access route to get up there as well, but that will be the top of the room right there. And another thing just sort of occurred to me is that light is now going to go through the hoppers. I believe light might travel through chests as well. Now I've played this game for a long time, and I've said it many times, my memory is getting worse as time goes by, because if we had light there, then we could have this being the roof of the room, or at least the first bit of the roof, because we've got to keep it to a certain height. I think the light is coming through there. I think it's going through the chest and the hoppers, so this area is a little bit more luminous. But anyway, I'll get all of that tidied up. And what we want to focus on next is where the items come around the side, because it's over on here that we're going to have the actual brewers. So this glowstone we got down the bottom here, that was just to try and light up the room, and I don't think we want to be too reliant on some sort of pattern at the front. So I had another idea, and this sort of works in theory, but I had a feeling we'd probably try this and then find out that it didn't work. So if we power this block here, we will also power a redstone lamp, or at least make it turn on like that, which is pretty cool. Now what we can then do is power the redstone lamp itself while it's on, and if you listen to that click, it's going to power the dropper up above it. So that works just fine. My only query right now is if we want to keep the wooden buttons on them as they blend in a little bit, which might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. It'd be nice if we had more choices for buttons. We've only got 2. And do you know what? I'm going to go with that one. I like the way that they pop out more than when they blend in. The lights are off, but I know why. We've just had flowing water because I've been putting in a water basin at the back here, and I've made all of this with packed ice. I've actually run out of that as well, so that all sort of flows down to a single point. It's actually really hard to see from back here. Let's take a step back. Yeah, and then all the drops that get dispensed in the droppers will go down into a water stream that goes underneath, and it comes out over here. So somewhere around here we're going to create a silent item elevator to bring the items up, and then we're going to watch them go across visually into our brewers, which I'll get to in a moment. There's another problem here. We can put a golden slice, a golden melon slice in this as well to brew potions. There's actually 3 more ingredients, so I'm thinking maybe I can find a way to put the nether warts in automatically over there, and then we remove this one. But that might be a little bit tricky. I really don't know about that one. Yeah, so the other thing would be just to make this 12 wide, which isn't a problem. It's just odd at the moment, and I like that. It could be even as well. So the next component of our brewing system is this bit over here, and actually there's only going to be 2 brewing components. Now some of you have probably been leaving comments about the first part over here. Yes, I missed more ingredients. Pufferfish, golden carrot. I've now double checked the ingredients over and over again, and I do believe we got it correctly with the exception of the rabbit's foot, which goes right there. So that's like that I've actually got to go out and collect, because I don't believe I have one. So anyway, we can select the items here, we can bring them over to this bit, and we do that with an item elevator, which I've set up here, and currently that one is facing upwards, and what we'll do is put a bucket of water on top of it. However, it's going to come around to this height over here. This is where the items are going to go, and so maybe what we do is we face that one out to the side or something like that. We'll figure it out though, and this is where the items are going to come across. So something that I may or may have not mentioned, I wasn't sure if I did at the beginning of the video, I wanted this to be a little bit visual. I had this image in my head of seeing the ingredients travel around, so I'm hoping we will see them travel across the top of this. But currently that is not quite possible. So anyway, let's explain what's going on. This is not a fully automated system. We select the ingredients we want. They make their way into the brewing stand. We do that to lock the brewing stand. So this hopper right here is locked. Items are going to go over to the next one. And at the back here, what we've got is a bunch of hoppers pointing into the brewing stand so that we can automatically fill it up with blaze powder and water as well. So what we'll do is have water in 4 slots and blaze powder in the other one. And if we have a big enough supply at the back, wherever all of these hoppers go to, I do believe what will happen is that they'll be able to fill up both of them using one set of hoppers. That'll be interesting to see if that actually works, but I believe it does in theory. So yeah, this is our brewing stand down the bottom here. When we want to brew it, we lock it. Then we select our second set of ingredients, and then we lock the next one. That's kind of the deal that's going on right here. Now if we go up to the top, what I want to do is just chuck an item there, and that's going to be the items going across. Now when I checked this earlier, it didn't look so good from down here, but actually you can just about make out the items. But when you get a little bit closer, you can see that they disappear, and we want to be able to see them. That was part of the idea here, was for it to be aesthetic, and we see the items going across when we're brewing with it. So what we're actually going to do is lower that top set of hoppers and move them down here, and the way that we're going to do it will make the interface a little bit smaller but a little bit more interesting as well. So we're going to remove these blocks at the bottom, and I didn't really explain that to her actually. If we put the levers directly on the lamps when they're here, it's going to light up the one next to it, which will be confusing. So there is a reason why I've not chosen to do that. We are going to put the lamps down at the bottom, and then above it we will have our blocks going, hey, across like this. Do we have enough? Just about. And our levers are going to go on the underside. We're actually going to have to remove a couple of blocks here just so we can place them. And I think this looks cool. It's not too often you interact with levers and they're facing downwards like that. I think it might look cool if it were actually the other way around. Can I place it like that? No, it's always going to face in that direction. So anyway, you come here, you give it a little hit like that, and you can still interact with the brewing stand. It does have quite a big hitbox, but if you just sort of position yourself between the two, you can get to the brewing stands easy enough. So anyway, coming back over to this bit, what's now going to happen is the glass is going to be lower. And I believe we locked the first couple of hoppers. Yep. So let's throw some items again, like that. Well, not the second one. But now you can see very clearly the item there. You can see it very, very clearly, actually. And so this is what we're going to go with. We're going to have a strip of glass that goes across there. There'll be a water stream as well. And we will see the items get physically moved across, which I think is going to be really cool. We're also going to have to align the water stream so it pushes them against this side here. And I think that's about everything. The other thing I'm considering doing is perhaps adding in something like this, like a panel, before you get to that bit. So that's something that I'll play around with. But otherwise, that is the setup right there. So this thing in that corner, no, we don't want that, because we're going to be going back and forth from these two spots a lot. You know, I was thinking about, what if we had that, and then we mirrored this shape going back on itself, so it sort of pushed this outwards and further back. And you know, you want to have a short distance between these 2 points, basically. And we've got that. So anyway, I've wired up all of the back. I say wired up. I've watered it up? I don't know. We've done all of the stuff that isn't redstone-y, but it feels like doing redstone, you know, putting down all of these little roots. Yeah, so if we chuck a block down here and follow it around, you will see that it goes all the way over to this side and then slowly drops down onto that bit, which is really cool. And we've got the item elevator right there, and it's really not too many blocks difference in it when you think about it. Like, I think if that were 1 block higher, it'd be the same height as that there, although that drops down 2 blocks. Maybe it's even the same height. But anyway, we've got the item elevator. That's all cool. And what I've done is I've locked all of the hoppers right here so that we could do a little test and just see it in action. So we are going to put some, not packed ice, let's put some stuff that isn't particularly valuable in there. And we're missing buttons at the end here. What is going on? Let's get some more buttons. Put them in. Bam. And then press that. So that would be our first ingredient. Let's do it again. And I feel like we probably need a light somewhere just to let you know that the ingredient has gone through the first step. There you go. Look at that. Cool. And we will actually see our ingredients go all the way over to the one that we're using. Of course, we're not using any at the moment. And by the way, I've tried to mirror the look of this, and I was thinking we could even put some hoppers and chests at the top as well. But what would they do? Maybe you put your water and your blaze powder in there, and it would really be for aesthetics to mirror that. So we can put something in at the top, but I'll probably wait for your feedback on that one. We're getting very close to being done here. There is definitely still a few more jobs, I believe. And man, my inventory is just full all of the time at the moment. So we're over at the witch farm gathering up some resources, and I'm thinking to myself, I need to do some more AFKing here because all of the redstone is gone. Well, pretty much all of it. You can see there's a little bit right there, and most of the glowstone as well. So once again, got to remind myself to do some AFKing over here, which is a bit of a bad habit, me not doing that. As you might have guessed, those items are for brewing. So let's start doing some of that exactly. We're doing our first test run here. So netherwort will always be first, and we've got to listen. Would you look at that? It dispensed it all the way onto the back there. There's actually my mistake. Right, let's fill in these gaps and do that again. Okay, second time lucky. Let's listen for the sound. Bam! There it is. Did you hear that? I got some note blocks back there. So now that we know that that ingredient has gone through, we can do our second one, which is going to be blaze powder. Should be a little bit quicker. There you go. And what do we want to do? Let's do level 2. And then we can probably press that now anyway. There you go. And then the gunpowder following it. Oh, and look up here. Oh, I saw an item go through, but the hopper would have picked it up straight away, right? There you go. So, are we brewing? We're brewing. So now we're going to lock this, because we don't want any more items to come into there. So this time we're going to do nether wart. Then we're going to do blaze powder. We've got to give it a second though, because the nether wart has to go a little bit further. Maybe doing all of this with hoppers so it had priority would have been smarter. But anyway, then we'll do redstone. So some strength potions that last 8 minutes. And that's it. Now they're going to go on to the second one, so we should be able to see that visually now. There you go. It's going to look more impressive when you're doing the one at the end. It almost makes sense to perhaps lock them all and just focus on the one at the end, right? Oh, and we got some potions brewed. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do that. Okay, design flaw. I knew that was in the way and I've accidentally clicked it. But there you go. Anyway, let's go around and look at the back. I've got more to show you here because all of this has been piped up. So what we've done is we put in the blaze powder, and we have the blaze powder at the last slot on each of these. And I think this might still be able to cause a problem, but my thinking is always keep it at the back, as it's items at the front that transfer first. So every little bit of pipe has this right here going all the way through, and whenever a potion is needed, it's going to take it from this chest right here. So we're about to use more of those in a second. The way we fill this up is like so, and I feel like this should be... Well, I made a mistake there. Your inventory is supposed to be full to begin with. Then when you right click, it automatically drops it onto the hopper, and that means that the chest below us will slowly fill up. And I feel like that bit, as I was saying, should be a part of this room. Like you maybe walk up some stairs and there's a little fill up the bottles area. So this means that over here we can take out these potions of strength, and I'm just going to chuck those on the floor for now. And as you, or we could do that. Yeah, you can see they automatically get filled back up though, right? And that means that the bottles will then transfer through. So if these are always full, when we brewed enough to use some of the blaze powder, it's going to ask for some more, and it's always going to find it in that very last slot coming all the way back to here. And because the water bottles aren't being transferred, this in theory should transfer some down into the next bit. Now if the blaze powder were first over on this part of the chest, I have a bad feeling that what it would do if this slot here were open is it would transfer into that bit, which is not what we want. So we always have to keep this stocked up, and we always got to have a load of blaze powder available as well. And that in theory I believe works, and I think that's kind of everything here. So we can't leave this place without finishing the floor and possibly the ceiling as well. And this is going pretty good so far. What do I need right now? I actually want to craft a few of those, some carpets. Let's grab those, and let me show you what I've done. So the path right here looks a little bit too boring when you make it all spruce, and also it is quite wide. This thing is 6 blocks wide, so I made it 4 and put oak in the middle. I think the way we want to do it is have this path sort of go through the room, and then the sections on either side will sort of represent what it's about. So maybe over here on where these stone blocks are, or slabs, we'll have like carpet and multicolored wall in the floor. That might look a bit much, but anyway, let's get to what we're going to do over here. So in order to hide the lighting, which just happened to work out really well, each one is 2 blocks apart from the next. Let's take that back. We're going to get our lighting like that with some red carpet. Always just one short, you know. And then between all of that, I thought what we'd do is we'd scatter in a whole bunch of red nether brick and some nether warts as well. But I think I want to do this random, and I don't want to use a lot of these ones. So maybe we'll put one there as well. We'll do like one section with the 11 blocks. So let's say we're doing it up to here. We've got room for 2 more, one there, and maybe one there as well. And then the rest will be these blocks. And hopefully that'll really carry on the nether wart theme for the brewing. And it is a little bit noisy, but not until we take a step back will we really know what's going on here. So fill in all of these gaps, then we take a step back and assess it, and I think that's alright. I think that's pretty cool. Got a feeling it might actually just look better being plain this stuff, right? Yeah, or maybe something else in there. We can always play around with it. We can do that for now and then come back to it another time and change it up. So the ceiling shape-wise, reasonable, but you know, pretty bland at this point. Just sort of running low on ideas at the moment. However, I think I'm actually going to keep this bit right here. The idea was to keep the room low, as we've done with that bit over there, so that we could hide this, and then this bit's come up a bit higher, and I think we'll just leave it as sort of like a thing to be there. We're probably going to have to build something in the middle of it, like a chandelier. But anyway, if this is now too low, I was thinking what we could do is run another line of wood, just 2 blocks up all the way over, and perhaps there is where we can put our multicolored wall, so we can have a strip of it going all the way down. However, this stuff is in the way as well. It's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Because the roof's going to have to sort of slope down a little bit as it comes over here. But that's all sort of part of the room. I want it to be big open floor, patchwork of ideas, and let all the projects in here sort of come together organically. So we are ending the episode down here, not only because I need more bones, but because the day before that, I put out a video with a fix on the fish farms for 1.11. These will break when you update to 1.11, and I put a solution on my channel. So if you'd like to check that out, there's a link in the description box down below. But that is it from me this episode. Do hope you've enjoyed it. Leave some feedback about the ceiling and the floors as well. Let me know what you think of them, and we'll make some changes and improvements. But that is it from me, so thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.